Nestled on a hillside in rural Toshigi, 3 hours north of Tokyo, is a training center unlike any other in Japan. It is called the Asian Rural Institute.
What makes ARI unique?
It is a community-based, multicultural, multiracial training ground for grassroots level people.
Every year, some 30 rural community leaders from across the Asia-Africa-Pacific region come to ARI for a 9-month live-in program, learning the skills of community self-help and development.
Then I came to ARI to do what? To build my capacity as a leader. And this capacity building, it is through the leadership training I've had in ARI. I had organic farming learning, livestock management learning, alternative technology learning, peace building, community building and development, concern for the homeless, those with disabilities. I want to tell you that is what I call leadership. Because that is what Takami Sensei dreamt, and then he had a vision, and then he decided to create ARI.
Since its inception in 1973, ARI has returned more than 1,100 graduates back to their home communities. Each year, more apply than can be accommodated. So what keeps them coming? What is it that's unique about ARI training? To begin with, ARI is deliberately, and to many participants surprisingly, low-tech.
It's a surprise to them, and they also become very critical about this life because their understanding of community and their understanding of rural life or agriculture is so different. And their idea of technology also is very much Western. Those people who think mechanized, chemical kind of agriculture is better just because this is Western. Many people in Asia and Africa still have that concept. But I think to us this is highly scientific, compost making, organic farming, and produce food, at the same time enrich soil. This kind of agriculture calls for very highly sophisticated understanding the whole world, the whole universe. This can plow only this much, but in a small patch. This we do mostly by hand.
We talk about self-sufficiency because it's one of the things that we hope to train people in so that they don't look to somebody else to solve their problems. And that's one main reason why we raise 90% of our own food, to prove that it's possible to do that kind of thing.
Key to the survival and well-being of marginalized rural communities are self-sufficiency and sustainability. To that end, ARI practices and preaches integrated organic agriculture.
Multiracial people coming to form a community and sharing not only among the human people, but God's creation. Trees and grasses, on animals, insects, people are feeding, that we are sharing the life, rhythm of life for the whole nature and us human beings.
ARI is rooted in commitment to the unity of all living things within God's creation. An understanding of the ultimately destructive impact of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides upon that creation, and the realization that it's only by using what they have that marginalized people will be able to raise themselves up.
I never learned about bananas in ARI, but ARI's training, they trained us to make use of the situation as it is. They have trained us to use the locally available resources and what the local community can benefit, without necessarily going to the shops or going to get, going outside the farm.
Learning by doing. That's the third critical element of the ARI approach, and it, too, comes as a surprise to some participants.
Now, I expect it to be all the time in classroom. Yes. The way we do it in our country here, because I expected to have books with a pen and other things. I found that things were practical. You have to learn through doing something.
The training in ARI is quite different because the training here normally is more or less of lectures and classroom teachers. In ARI it was learning by doing, and so when you learn by doing, you get the skill right inside you, and you can be able to replicate it.
Assigned work groups are given responsibility for specific fields and livestock. Experiences and learnings are then shared and compared.
The shape of the cucumber is very unusual. We thought of giving the ash, but we at the beginning, but afterward we discussed and said that it's okay that we give bokashi because there's a lot of potassium in bokashi also.
For the big jobs, like rice planting, corn and rice harvesting, the whole community is involved. Building community. That's the fourth fundamental of the ARI program. It's essential to the survival of rural communities, and it's also hard work.
In the ARI, we have the people came from many countries, many different cultures. Some Muslim, some Buddha, some Christian. It means everyone. We have the different background, different concept, but we have to give that opportunity for learn each other. The concept or the practice from ARI to make me to aware more when I running our organization. I have to, how can I say, work with our team to be like a one family, work together, learn together.
ARI's roots are in the Rural Ministry program at Surakawa Theological Seminary. But by the 1970s, key staff had become convinced the needs were greater than seminary training alone could address.
I felt that the needs in Asia and Africa especially were growing greater, not only for food production but also for sharing of human concerns. And we felt that the churches in Japan ought to respond to those needs.
So in 1973 they took the risk and created ARI. Christian in inspiration, ecumenical in practice, it is firmly rooted in the spirit of Jesus, who came as one that serves.
Leadership is one of the best, if not, thing I've learned here. Because in my community, if you're a leader, then you are a commander. Yes, if you're a leader, you are a commander. When I come in the morning and it's dusty, I do it dusty, I'll call somebody to come and clean the table. Because I'm a leader, I have nothing to do. But then here, I have now learned that a leader must be a servant.
At ARI, the director works in the field alongside everybody else, does morning exercises, even cleans the office toilets. It's a spirit of servant leadership that permeates the entire staff. What keeps ARI going? Certainly it is the vision and commitment to it of a hard-working, dedicated staff. It's the contribution of volunteers, many of them local lay people who believe in the ARI mission. Others come from further afield, lending their talents to the multitude of tasks that need to be done.
My school, Wellesley College, has a list of internships that you can kind of choose from and then you apply. And ARI was one of the more unconventional ones out of all of them because, like work is quite tough, but the community just makes it worth, all the effort and the work. And if you do it as a community and, you share your great experiences and you share the work and you share the food, you share life.
We are investing on the persons who would dedicate their whole life to sustain the life for the future. I think it's a wise investment and lasting investment on persons who would work as leaders of the people.
Take my hand, which has labored in the soil. Together we will stand, for together we must toil. Build a world where hunger will not keep the people chained. To build a world that will still